Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for stopping by. It's been a while, hasn't it, my beautiful nerds? And sometimes, I just need to take a break from editing and uploading. I work 45 to 50 hours a week, and honestly, most days I'm just exhausted and I just don't want to work on videos. Streaming's a little bit different though, as it takes like zero effort to do. So, I don't know. Anyways though, enough about my bitching. We are back today with a brand new video, and we are talking about Touma once again. Yes, I've talked about Touma multiple times before, but I never really covered the new abilities he got in Genesis Testament. Plus, we're overdue for Towaru content anyway, so fuck it. Jin Mori finally makes a return to the YouTube channel this time around, and I will be going way more into depth with him than I did previously. That video from 3 years ago is so fucking ass. Just delete it from your memory. Erase it. Gone. Eviscerate it. Bye. Gone. Adios. Hasta luego. And don't worry, guys. I will be using 2 brand new characters for the next video. Don't worry. Don't worry. I hear you, motherfuckers. As we all know, Touma has the ability to negate and destroy any type of supernatural phenomena. Now, Imagine Breaker has been stated to be the cause of Kamijo's misfortune, but did you guys know that he actually has insane luck? Now, while it is very important to know that his right hand can negate any form of supernatural phenomena, it's important to remember that what he's trying to erase regenerates faster than the negating property of Imagine Breaker. The right hand cannot fully negate it, but in most cases this will not apply, so kind of irrelevant to be honest. Imagine Breaker was stated to be misfortunate because Imagine Breaker continually negates the power of fortune just by touching the air itself, giving him more and more misfortune that can actively work against him. It was also stated by the god Othinus that Touma's ability to somehow escape dangerous situations brought about external factors, and that's due to his inability to die when he should, and that is the greatest misfortune of all, is that the misfortune that he's constantly exposed to. When the god of misfortune has his right arm torn off, multiple dragons come out and appear from his arm, as we all know when we saw in Railgun. But let's start off with these badass dragons and what they actually do. The dragons were capable of overpowering and devouring the black sphere created by the level 6 Makoto Misaka. Basically, it's power negation, power nullification, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But let's run through these dragons kinda quickly since we have talked about them before. The very first dragon specializes in decursing physiological attacks and can destroy memories if it bites someone. The next dragon possesses a powerful psychological effect that causes people to overcome or be overcome with terror and confusion when it's nearby. The next dragon possesses fangs that contains the undiluted concept of poison that causes anything bitten to die or experience a fate far worse than death. The four-eyed dragon possesses eye powers that hold illusion and hypnotism powers that blur the line between reality and dreams. The corpse fire dragon, flame dragon, whatever, just basically burns anything and everything, burning even life force itself. The ice dragon can, control ice. I know, shocker, huh? The spearhead dragon can release lightning from its body. And lastly, we have Touma's angelic dragon. This dragon can project a light from the cross on its forehead that makes any object directly hit by this light turn into salt. Those stabbed by the angel dragon's feathers are brainwashed as if hypnotized and turned into mindless puppets, faithfully following any orders given to them by the user. However, they are unable to think for themselves while under the effects of the feathers. If Bro could just rip off his arm, that would just be badass. You know how like Tanjiro killed himself when he was under that demon's control or whatever? Yeah, think of like that. Nah, that's a fucking dumb comparison. I don't, just fucking ignore me. Touma with the dragon shell can fly. He has wings, whatever. Basic stuff, we already knew that. And yes, he has precognition when he fought Othinus in NT9. I'm not going to show all the scans again, but just go read the light novel. Literally the best novel ever made by Kamachi. I will stand by that. For a very, very short time, Touma was able to actually use magic. Like the previous Saint Germain and Kihara Yuitsu, they were able to use magic related to diamonds and carbon. Touma was able to create diamonds that can divert the speed and vector of destruction of said attacks. Create a double layer of dimensions. Create a double layer of diamond sheets to divert invisible but highly flammable gases elsewhere. Not really relevant because he only was able to use this in GT2 for like a very, very very, very short time. But whatever. Still pretty cool to know and talk about, I guess. But now we can talk about the Dragon King, the crowned Dragon King, Touma Kamijo. Basically, this is just Touma Kamijo, but in Genesis Testament Volume 9. In GT9, when he was fighting CRC or Rosencreutz, his body changed, giving him razor jaws, scales, and even a chameleon-like tongue. Touma's shadow flickers wildly as he approaches death, and he can exhale a violent beam of light. Now, with that being said, yes, he has his own version of Kamehameha. Honestly, a more powerful version of Kamehameha. He injured Johan, whatever the fuck. After the latter, he made himself as useless. Wait, hold on a second. Did I read that right? Hold on, I'm looking at my script. He injured Johan after the latter had made himself as useless to attack as trying to attack the unobservable Schrodinger's cat. There it is. This just reassures that he can access things or touch things that have a non-physical interaction. Or it assesses us that he does have non-physical interaction abilities. Touma can cut through space! His clashing willpower distorts space now. His willpower can just distort space. I like that. I like the sound of that. It's beautiful. He has the ability to control gravity. As an example of this is that he could trigger an inwards gravitational collapse in space, creating an irreparable hole. He can launch air now as if it was solid mass, control the weather, and strike divine lightning. Strike with divine lightning. Fucking hell. Oh yeah, he actually has limited reality warping. Kamijo commands all living things and inanimate objects, allowing him to not bring harm to anyone around him as everything splits apart neatly and reconstructs itself as if it were made as gelatin. He can turn invisible, and here's one of my most favorite abilities by Touma Kamijo ever. Ready for this? Those bitten by the Dragon King get erased from the world. Touma Kamijo can erase anything from existence with his dragon's abilities. That's insane. That's fucking insane. Also, attacks launched without a powerful intent to kill are destroyed, and those lose all meaning and vanish into thin air. Good luck trying to kill Touma Kamijo with subconscious attacks. Good fucking luck. Way different from before, right? A fuck ton of upgrades, and I'm not even fucking done. Let's not forget that in Genesis Testament Volume 5, Alice brought him to the Wonderland world where she is in control of. A whole entire plot, a story within a story. Because of this, he didn't follow that said plot. Because of Genesis Testament Volume 5, you can make the literal logical argument that Touma has plot manipulation resistance as well, basically with the help of Imagine Breaker, of course. But seriously, guys, read Genesis Testament Volume 5 and you will understand everything I am talking about. I'll even link it down in the description. I'm not lying. Literally, go read it. You can figure it out for yourselves. Also, Touma was able to move in a world with stop time, so that's pretty cool. So even though I don't think he has immeasurable speed, he definitely can move within stop time, which puts him at infinite speed, I believe. So still a pretty good feat nonetheless. As we all know, Jin Mori is an expert at hand-to-hand combat. I'm pretty sure we all know what God of High School is. Honestly, and I can actually say this with 100% certainty, Jin Mori in a hand-to-hand combat against Goku would absolutely slaughter Goku. 100%. Oh, and he can also use Rimuru Taekwondo, so there's also that, but we all knew that as well. He has amazing senses, as when he fought with his eardrums blown out and his brain being damaged, he was still able to win a fight. Jin Mori can attack rapidly, and his opponent was able to produce, and against his opponent, he was able to produce miniature vortexes of air. Oh, and he can create after images, so that's cool, I guess. He invented a new skill simply by watching Deiwi's Blue Dragon Wave and experiencing it. Jin Mori intuitively blocked an attack he deemed completely impossible to dodge simply by remembering the fights he had with previous people. Mori was shown to break the fourth wall repeatedly. Now, let's take a fucking second and back the hell up, right? Just because you can break the fourth wall does not scale you to outerversal, okay? I don't know how else to say this, but it does not scale you there, you fucking hood rats! His aura could even frighten the likes of the 4 heavenly angels. This literal monkey can gather moisture from the atmosphere to summon Jin Duwoon, which can produce lightning. He can also control the size and weight of Yaoi. I don't think I'm pronouncing these right, but whatever. I think he could change more things like the density and size, but I haven't seen anything, but I'm gonna assume he can, so yes? Jin Mori can seal mortals and supernatural entities on a planetary scale with his gourd. The Monkey King himself can somewhat negate the rebound of Jebong Chim acupuncture and the armor suits that can reduce the damage Mori takes from physical strikes. He can also shadow clone himself with 100 clones that basically can fight alongside with him. The Monkey King can also, well, have the ability to summon the 7th Master, which can duplicate himself on Mori's command. One of the Shiryu techniques that he can use is called Hui Mori Original Imugi Kick? A technique derived from the Blue Dragon Kick. Jin Mori used this technique to supplement his own Blue Dragon Kick to defeat 666 Satan. The combined power was so powerful that 666 Satan had to sacrifice 1/3 part of his life body just to survive, in addition to blowing the sun's corona away for a second. But let's talk about his more divine techniques, right? The Monkey King skill, Weapon of the Three Gods, is the first one I want to talk about. Jin Mori summons his weapons Ryui Jingu, Kinto Un, and Gourd. That sounds weird to say, just Gourd. Like, you have all these Korean names and you have Gourd. Gorod? Gourd. I don't fucking know. And use them to attack all of his enemies. In a fight against Mikael, Uriel, and Garuda? Oh, Garuda. This technique and the Heavenly Realms gods attacks collision produce an explosion that destroys copies of Ryui Jingu around them. Next, let's talk about the other divine tech, the fur of the Monkey King. Each of the hairs possesses magical properties and is capable of transforming into a clone of the Monkey King himself. Just one of them is strong enough as Jin Taijin, and it's capable of copying the skills of others. These clones can release omnidirectional waves of energy that can vaporize a mountain and vaporize a mountain and can produce destruction on par with the exceeding of a nuclear bomb. Yeah, also he also has a 19 Yuigi? Yo, you got me fucked over to go over every single one of these abilities, so I'm just gonna give you a TLDR, and if you really want to know more, just fucking Google this shit. The Yuigi offered the Dragon King during his trial. Dan Mori, he obtained all 19 of them. Being imbued with the dragon's magic and souls, these pillars have even greater durability and power compared to Dan Mori's original Yui, despite it being from the strongest dragon in history. Essentially what I'm trying to say is that he can use these 19 pillars or whatever the fuck they're called. But let's get something straight, right guys? How the fuck is Jin Mori outer-versal? Because of this Nirvana wank I've been hearing for the past 3 years? No, get the fuck out of here. I like Jin Mori just as much as anybody else. Really, I do. I really wish we got a season 2. The fucking series is awesome, but the fan base, bro, please stop. Please calm down, bro. You're giving the people who like the show a bad rep. It's like saying Sungjin moves outer-versal. I like solo leveling. I like solo leveling Ragnarok, but you can't say he's outer-versal. You people need to stop. Oh my lord. You're giving all of us a bad rep. But let's take a real look at this. Let's break this down. To start this off, Mori's scale was above the cosmology of the verse. He's stated to possess power that carries all of creation. This all of creation here refers to everything in the most literal sense, but what's meant by carry is basically essentially control, manipulation, and handling, etc, etc. The exact meaning is hard to properly translate given the Buddhistic nature of the statement, but this is not the only statement for this that we have. There's also this one right here. According to Zhuan Zhang, I don't fucking know, dude. Here, Mori became the perfect god that can rule over all things. Once again, in the most literal sense. We know Mori can manipulate the past from the paradise as well, meaning everything here is in the most literal sense and includes the entire timeline. We can even see him physically carry a part of that timeline. Not only is this proven by Mori physically holding a part of that said timeline, but also the entire place being described as a place where time and space overlap. Now, since Mori can handle or carry the entire timeline as a perfect god, he would logically be dimensionally equal to it. Like, it would just make the most sense, right? This would normally make him around 4D, or it would make him 4D, not make him around. It would make him 4D, and only get him up to low multiversal due to the God of High School verse, containing multiple alternate realities or timelines. But here's where it would be mistaken, right? Normally, this would mean that Mori physically has 3 dimensions of space and a 1 dimension of time, but the God of High School universe actually has 4 dimensions of space, meaning Jin Mori is basically being capable of carrying, manipulating, and governing the timeline, which would mean he possesses a 4-dimensional space plus 1 dimension of time. But why is this? Well, honestly, think about it. Use your fucking head. It's pretty simple. There are several 4-dimensional objects within the verse, and since they exist within the timeline, it means that the timeline itself has to be at least 4 dimensions of space. But what are these objects? Well, it's a good thing you asked through the screen. Okay, maybe you didn't ask, whatever. Let's start with the most undeniable one. Not only is the gate stated to be 4D and work exactly like how a 4D gate should work, it is even resembles the actual theoretically 4D object. Second would be the Taijin's wormhole. I even checked the raws just to make sure the translation was correct, and well, yeah, I mean, the Taijin outright made a wormhole. This is relevant because the wormholes are commonly believed to be at least 4-dimensional. Wow. Who would have guessed? And as for the less believable evidence, we have Mori being stated to be 4-dimensional back in Ragnarok. I specifically point towards Odin's statement that says like one specifically uses Korean characters meant to refer to spatial dimensions. I don't know, something like that. But conclusion! Mori's scale is 2 or just above his verse and has been both stated and shown to physically hold pieces of the timeline. Since the God of High School contains several objects with 4 spatial dimensions, the timeline has to be at least 5-dimensional, which in turn means that Mori himself is 5-dimensional even without using any reality over fiction arguments. So out-of-versal, huh? No! Base Jin Mori absolutely slams Touma Kamijo. Not even a contest, but we're talking about their most powerful forms. Dragon King Touma against Supreme God Jin Mori. And surprisingly to nobody, Touma actually out-haxes with his Dragon King form. But let's say that they were actually equal, right? Equal speeds, equal everything. Equal attack potency, whatever. They both have precognition, but Touma just has better haxes. It doesn't matter if fucking Duke can clone himself 90,000 times over. The dragons are just too OP, which can basically negate any form of supernatural phenomena, which is basically what that is. And all of Jin Mori's abilities are actually supernatural. I mean, minus the hand-to-hand combat, of course. One touch from the Dragon King, and then this dude is genuinely gone and erased from existence. I didn't find anything where he could actually reflect something of that caliber of an attack, yet alone something that can reflect a power that can negate attacks. So I don't know, if you find something, I mean, let me know. I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it because I'm me and you're you. I can see this fight going both ways if we're being genuinely honest with ourselves, but no, I genuinely think Touma could beat Jin Mori. Given the haxes, the speed feats, and everything, it all leans in Touma Kamijo's favor. But now the real question is, why would I talk about Touma Kamijo and Jin Mori? Well, we needed to talk about Touma and his upgrades because he got a lot of new haxes, and I needed to talk about Jin Mori because there's so much misconception with Jin Mori going around that people need to know the truth. He's not out-of-versal, he's 5th dimensional, and he's powerful, but he can't beat characters like Touma Kamijo. It's just as simple as that. Hate me all you want for giving you guys absolute facts, but Imagine Breaker literally outscales. The Dragon King God just beats Jin Mori, honestly. Probably Touma Kamijo could solo the whole entire God of High School verse. Maybe. Probably. I don't know. What a wild ride to come back to. Until next time, my fellow nerds, Touma Kamijo absolutely slams Jin Mori. Don't hate the player, hate the game.